Well, hello there, and Merry Christmas. It's your dad. Since visitation is still fairly complicated, I decided to possess this Christmas tree to give you a message. Early last month, I got to thinking about Christmases past. There have always been multiple presents under our trees, both while I was growing up and since I married Mom. She has told me it was the same for her. The fact is, we are tremendously blessed. Even when our finances were very tight, presents were under the tree for all of us. This year, I had an idea for something we can do to help take the focus off of what we get. I'm hoping it becomes a tradition. Each of you will soon be given money and a choice of charities to which that money will be donated. You will choose independently, so don't let anyone tell you where your money should go. Your mom and I won't think any more or less of you based on your choice. This is about your heart and taking time to consider others who have needs. I've put together a video preview of each charity. Some are longer, some shorter. Some are exactly as they appear on YouTube, and some I have spliced together from different videos. These are just to give you an idea about each group and what problem or problems they are trying to address. Not all charities use the money they receive in a wise or efficient manner. I've chosen one charitable group from each of the following categories: health, education, animals, veterans, faith, service, and poverty. Some are local and some are nation or worldwide. In order to figure out how responsible the charities are, I have limited the options to groups earning the highest rating from charitynavigator.org, which is 4 stars. I will also show you each charity's overall score. The higher the score, the more evidence the charity is using donations in wise and efficient ways. Let's get started with our first charity, Reading Assist Institute. This is the entry for the education category. Reading Assist Institute trains volunteers to tutor school kids who struggle with reading. The tutors provide daily 45-minute sessions with the children. By bringing struggling readers up to grade level and equipping them with the tools to succeed, Reading Assist Institute allows kids to keep from falling behind in virtually every academic subject. This local charity earned a total score of 90.58.
A lot of people just go back to, oh, your parents read to you, and then you knew how to read. I don't even remember learning how to read at all.
You know, lots of children will just develop the knowledge of the pattern. 20% of children won't, so they need the explicit instruction.
It could affect them with confidence. If they're in a class and all the kids are kind of reading the words out loud, they might have felt kind of isolated and detached from their classmates and their friends.
Everyone's moving forward, and you're not.
So I am sourced out from this organization called the Reading Assist Institute.
Each tutor sees 6 students for a 45-minute time period each day.
One-on-one intensive tutoring every single day.
So each lesson that I create from this program is tailored specifically to the needs of the child.
We start with our grapheme sounds. You know, each letter says a sound, and then we start putting them together to make the words and make the syllables.
It's more like math. You know, you have the word, and then you have to look at each letter and help the kids with what sound does each letter make.
So like jump, j, m.
Say I have an F and an L, that can make an L blend.
What's the L blend that makes?
Food.
Like that's a lot of sounds that these kids have to put together to get that word. You know, you don't think about that when you're reading.
I see Reading Assist from the perspective of how can it help our students begin to fill some of the gaps that are missing in the classroom.
You know, the kids have good and bad days. Sometimes it can be very frustrating for them.
Like with big words, when I don't know them, I'm trying to sound them out in my brain, but then I'm like, what is this? What is this? What is this?
So you have 6 people who are either having a great day or not in the mood, and since it's something difficult for them, it's usually more on the not in the mood side and less on the great day side. It's been very, very difficult.
They're the ones that are struggling, and struggling kids don't have it all figured out, so that means that you're gonna have to kind of like figure out what you need to do to help them.
We actually had a student who was very resistant to being pulled from the room. Her data had never moved. I mean, it moved a little bit, but then it would go backwards. And it'd move a little bit, and then she'd go backwards again. But now it's starting to really move. It's not huge growth, but it's moving in a direction that it hasn't before.
None of the students were at benchmark at the beginning of the year assessment. The data is saying that all of them were at benchmark middle of the year.
They did testing called Dibbles testing, and all the kids were up a lot. How many words could you read in a minute, your accuracy in reading, and things like that.
Read Assist provides mentorship. It provides students with the ability to be confident.
I learned words that I have never learned before.
Being able to focus on one kid and their one individual need versus 3, 4, or even 5 kids in a group keeps them motivated. I think it helps them feel special too.
This just kind of gives us another step or another vehicle to reach the students that are struggling the most.
I couldn't read at all, but when I met Mr. Kittle, he helped me read.
Seeing him acknowledge that success that he's been having, it was a great feeling.
Seeing my kids at the beginning that were like bummed out when they had to read a word and they couldn't read the word like cat, and now they're reading short stories with me, it's amazing, yeah.
I really wish that we had more Reading Assist people here.
They're sacrificing a lot to help children that will ultimately impact our future.
You just become so close to them, and you really want them to succeed.
I wish this could be at every school. We need to get these students back up to grade level, and this is the way to do it.
It feels awesome to learn how to read.
Our second charity is from the health category. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital treats children who have all kinds of diseases absolutely free of charge to the families. Whatever isn't covered by insurance is paid for by donations. The hospital also provides housing and food for the families during treatment if they live in another part of the country. This was recently expanded through a corporate sponsorship from Domino's Pizza. Not only do they treat patients, but they actively research causes of diseases and potential treatments. Scientists and doctors are given the best equipment and multidisciplinary collaboration is encouraged. St. Jude's earned a total score of 90.99.
It's a glittering premiere at the Chicago Theater for Warner Brothers' I'll See You in My Dreams. A real dream has come true, for this benefit premiere launches a drive for a new hospital sponsored by the film star Danny Thomas, here arriving with his family. Years ago, Danny vowed he'd build a hospital if he ever became famous. $32,000 are subscribed, the first of 1 million Danny Thomas tells friends he'll raise for the St. Jude's Hospital of his dreams.
They said it couldn't be done. They said that it was a task which would break my heart. They said it was impossible. At this very moment, as I speak to you, in the city of Memphis, Tennessee, there is being constructed a hospital in the form of a star. There it is, in concrete, glass, and steel, to offer help to all the children of the world, regardless of race, creed, or economic status. You and I have vowed that we will do everything in our power, spiritually, physically, mentally, and financially, to bring about the defeat of these catastrophic diseases. We're going to begin with leukemia, and by God's grace, after defeating it, go on to other diseases. That little tiny building has led the world in advancements in pediatric science and clinical care, and now it's going to rise up. You will bring it to the fore through an organization called ALSAC.
I were to die tomorrow, I now know why I was born.
While we're sitting here making this video, there's a family that's walking through the front doors on a Friday afternoon, and they're at St. Jude. When we came to St. Jude, I asked the doctor, "Can you treat my child?" And he said, "No. We're going to cure him."
The third option is the Food Bank of Delaware, which assists people who tend to live in poverty. This includes elderly people with little income. They are also providing occupational skills as certified trade schools. In addition, the Food Bank operates a farm which grows fresh, affordable produce. The Food Bank of Delaware earned a total score of 91.06. Our fourth charity is another local one, the Delaware Humane Association. The DHA provides no-kill shelters for animals and allows the public to adopt them as fully spayed or neutered pets. They also spay and neuter pets for a reasonable fee. The Delaware Humane Association earned a total score of 93.78.
Get informed at contentdelaware.org.
We're excited to have Patrick Carroll with us from the Delaware Humane Association. Welcome, Patrick.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. So can you tell us about the work that you do with the Delaware Humane Association?
Absolutely. Our mission is to act as a voice for companion animals and enhance their welfare by doing four main things. We do adoption of cats and dogs, we do low-cost spay-neuter surgery, and we do temporary shelter, and then we also do humane education programs.
So, you want to tell us about this wonderful...
Yeah, I have a one-year-old Cocker Spaniel named Gus here, who had to come from another shelter, and is with DHA now, and we'll look for a home for him.
So how long do you expect it'll take before he's adopted?
Well, we're a no-kill shelter, so we will hold on to our animals as long as it takes to get them adopted. But Gus here will get adopted very fast because he's a very desirable dog. He's a purebred Cocker Spaniel. Younger, he's 1 year old. So you don't have to deal with him as a puppy and all that comes along with a puppy, but he's still young and has a long life ahead of him.
And you have an exciting project underway also?
We do. We're on the Wilmington Riverfront on A Street, and we've been there for many years, probably since 1971, I believe. So we're over 50 years old, though, as an organization, and we'll be building a new facility on our property there in the next couple of years. So very excited about. We have a great need for a new home, a new building, more modern technology, better systems to serve the animals.
And I just want to conclude by finding out how the public can get involved and support the Delaware Humane Association.
Well, there's many ways to get involved with us. One way would be to adopt. You know, if you're going to get a pet, a dog or a cat, come adopting from us and saving an animal who needs a new home. Even with cats you can get all over, but if you get a cat from us, it's already spayed or neutered, has all of its shots. It's all set and ready to go. Same with dogs. So adopting is a really important thing. If you have a pet that needs to be spayed or neutered, come to us. We'll take care of it for low cost. We always can use volunteers for our committees, for walking dogs, for spending time with cats and helping us adopt out animals. And of course, we're mostly funded by individuals, by donors. So we really need support from people to continue the consistent, ongoing support.
Yeah, good. Look forward to an update. Thank you, Patrick, for
Absolutely.
making time.
No problem.
Our fifth charity is for the service category. These charities offer unique services to society, in this case the training of service dogs for people with needs. They were formerly known as National Education for Assistance Dog Services, but they have shortened the name to Needs Incorporated. Providing training for service dogs is a long and intense process, but Needs Incorporated has found a unique system that includes using prisoners. I can say as a former correctional officer and counselor, I wish Delaware had a program like this. Whenever inmates have opportunities like a job or, in this case, responsibility for a dog, they are more likely to behave in order to earn and maintain the privileges that go along with it. It also provides inmates with marketable job skills for after their release. Needs Incorporated earned a total score of 98.18.
Shaping and training a needs service dog begins as soon as they arrive on our campus. Typically, a puppy will arrive at the Early Learning Center at about 8 weeks old. The Needs Campus is where the puppies first learn that humans are friendly and fun, loud noises are not scary, and unusual items are not frightening. It's here where all puppies are properly evaluated and taught their basic training commands.
Socialization is important because you have a limited time where the puppy can absorb all of this. After a while, what's in there is ingrained. So the better socialized puppy, the better chance. They come in, they have a quarantine period, and this whole time we're working with people, volunteers, and we're working with inanimate objects and sounds to get them ready for success.
Once puppies have become acclimated on campus, they head off to one of 9 correctional facilities throughout New England that participate in our Prison Pup program. Under the guidance of NEEDS staff, the Prison Pup program has proven to be highly effective due to the amount of time and training devoted on a consistent basis by inmate handlers. To ensure that all puppies have a full range of experiences, volunteers help out by socializing them on weekends. These weekend puppy raisers, specially trained in socialization skills by NEEDS, are assigned to a puppy for the entire time the dog is in the prison program. Puppies spend their weekends at a volunteer's home and follow the volunteer's routine around town. This way the puppies become accustomed to travel, as well as common public places like shopping malls, movie theaters, restaurants, and grocery stores. These volunteers devote an entire year or more of their lives to make sure their pups are prepared and have experienced everything they might encounter. This ensures that in the end, the right dog will be matched with their partner. When a NEEDS dog has completed their training, they return to our campus and are evaluated and tested. This process is a vital step in the matching process of all NEEDS dogs.
NEEDS has a very high standard of the type of assistance dogs we put out. When a dog comes to me, I have to make sure that the dog is confident out in public, is friendly with other dogs and people, has a good work ethic, and is comfortable next to different apparatus, so wheelchair, walker, cane, crutches. So we're going to see the dog's personality develop, their training develop, we know what their strengths are, based on what we see and also what we're getting the feedback from the inmate handlers and the weekend puppy raisers, so that all helps us make the match as well.
NEEDS dogs aren't the only ones being trained. Clients have a lot to learn about their new partners they'll be matched with, and the Kathy Foreman Training Center is where all of this will take place. This new, comfortable facility is where clients begin learning how to work with their dogs in a realistic home environment for the very first time.
All the dogs are trained to service dog tasks, so they're doing the highest quality of assistance dog work. But there might be some dogs that have a tendency to do better with one type of training than another. So that helps us to kind of decide what type of dog they probably best would be of the different type of dogs that we provide. And there's always just, I think, a look of wonderment on the person's face. You know, I think it's because it's finally here. It finally happened. And they are giving the dog some treats and doing a lot of petting, whatever, because obviously the dog right now thinks the trainer is number one, and we have to start the process of changing that bond and that working ability and that love over to the person that they've been matched with. So I think it's like, the child with the toy that they've always wanted. That's the first part. Just walk in and say, wow, I'm really glad I got this dog. And it's just the start of a long, hopefully very successful and loving relationship.
And when this first learning and bonding experience has been completed, all of our clients and their new partners take the stage to receive and accept a diploma on graduation day. When it comes to providing the very best, we at NEEDS believe that attention to detail makes all the difference to each one of our clients every day, one dog at a time.
Next up is our 6th charity and the entrant for the Veterans category. Named for an actor who became highly involved in providing entertainment and financial assistance to veterans following his role as Lieutenant Dan in the movie Forrest Gump, the Gary Sinise Foundation has a broad mission to show veterans, active duty and retired, and their families that they are appreciated. The Gary Sinise Foundation earned a total score of 98.23.
I've been that woman standing on the other side of a knock at the front door, living through the devastation of losing the love of my life in service to this country.
We don't forget, okay?
Being a 36-year-old widow that I was with 5 little kids who were looking to me for help, and I needed help. But you probably wouldn't have imagined that it would be this Hollywood actor.
Feeling the love a little bit?
Yes.
I hope so.
How do you measure 10 years of impact? One life at a time.
Thank you.
I appreciate everything that you do for our troops.
Thank you for what you do for these veterans.
What you do for the soldiers, God bless you.
There's just so many people with so many different needs. And Gary's heart is so big, I think he wants to help them all.
It started out as a mission of one,
So how many saw Forrest Gump?
but it's not about Gary Sinise.
Well, I'm Gary Sinise. I play Lieutenant Dan.
He'll be the first person to tell you.
Hi, how are you?
It's about the mission.
The first question I have to ask you is, what brings you to Fort Stewart again?
Well, the troops.
The mission is something you can really wrap your head around.
I lost my dad.
I know. And we want to show you that we don't forget your dad.
Veterans, first responders, their families, and those in need. He said, who needs help? I'll help. What are you raising money for? I'm there.
And if you have a good idea, and if it's a worthwhile idea, other people will follow and support it. And here we are, about 10 years since the formal creation of the foundation.
Here today to tell us about his new foundation, Lieutenant Dan himself, Mr. Gary Sinise.
The Gary Sinise Foundation stands on years of commitment to serving this particular cause. And they go.
When you think about what he did in the beginning, he just shows up. I think some of the most powerful pictures of Gary are in the hospital, because that's a difficult place to go for people. How do you relate to someone who's got severe injuries? But Gary goes into a room and he's just there. That's what GSF does today. If you have a need, we're going to show up.
It's meaningful.
Yeah.
Because I didn't expect any of this, I was just happy to be alive, and so when everyone showed their love and support, it's overwhelming.
When people ask me, what does the Gary Sinise Foundation do? I say, come and see, and then you'll know firsthand.
Of course, I get to see it in the RISE program every single day.
It changed my life, it changed my family's life, it changed, you can ask anybody. I'm a different person than I was when I first came home.
We've built over 70 homes, restoring independence for wounded veterans.
It's been a little over a year and a half, and I would not change a single thing. I love it. It's perfect.
I remember walking Gary into the master bathroom and showing him the shower, and I was like, I had no idea how beneficial this was going to be.
I cannot tell you how much this has helped. Yeah, incredible.
Hundreds of events that are done across this country on behalf of our first responders, veterans, and their families.
And these are big events.
From Snowball, which I've been a part of, the Snowball community events, the meals, the retreats, everything that Gary supports is really about helping people have community, because that's so key.
She hates Forrest Gump.
Everybody say, Gary, thanks, Gary.
No, don't say that.
So I think 10 years in the foundation is just the beginning.
That's a decade of giving. That's a decade of selfless service.
In such a short period of time to have experienced the growth that it has, I'm really excited to see where the next 10 years takes us.
I'm proud to announce the launch of the Gary Sinise Foundation Avalon Network.
Gary's always said mental wellness was fundamental to him starting this foundation.
In partnering with the Marcus Institute for Brain Health and Boulder Crest Foundation, this cognitive and mental health network will further expand our services to veterans and first responders struggling with post-traumatic stress, traumatic brain injuries, and substance abuse.
It's really easy to get behind good people. Gary Sinise and the Gary Sinise Foundation are doing the right thing for the right reasons.
And now we're taking it on vigorously to grow this network nationwide.
By 2023, we'll have 10 traumatic brain injury treatment sites and 10 post-traumatic growth sites.
And as we look to the future, the Gary Sinise Foundation footprint is also growing to better care for ever-expanding needs, with the launch of its first 2 local chapters in Orlando and San Diego.
It now gives that local community boots-on-the-ground opportunity to actually volunteer, and it helps them feel more connected to the mission.
I've been carrying this coin in my pocket for the last 22 months.
I want you to have it to say thank you.
Thank you.
I say that we can live without a lot of things in life that we think we need, but the one thing that really none of us can live without is hope. And I see Gary dishing that out all across this country. And it's a beautiful thing to witness and be a part of.
I'm forever grateful and forever thankful for the Gary Sinise Foundation.
And we are definitely grateful.
Yes.
For sure.
Because you raised your right hand and swore to defend this country, because you went out and put on the uniform and defended our community, because you went into a building that had a fire and you saved somebody. How do I thank you for that? How do we as a nation say thank you for that?
From one came two, from two came several, and from several came many, hundreds of thousands.
The generosity of the American people allows us to be able to sponsor a show like this so we can come and just say thank you for serving our country, and that's why we're here.
The Gary Sinise Foundation is a mission. It's a mission that I'm on that I hope continues beyond me.
10 years of impact, and it's just the beginning. Because as Gary likes to say, while we can never do enough, we can always do a little more.
Our final charity is Truth for Life, from the faith category. Truth for Life has a stated purpose to teach the Bible with clarity and relevance so that unbelievers will be converted, believers will be established, and local churches will be strengthened. Pastor Alistair Begg's entire archive of Bible teaching is available free of charge on the website. Truth for Life also makes sermons available on a daily basis with a radio program and podcast. The ministry offers materials such as Bibles and Christian books available at cost with no shipping or handling fees. Truth for Life has earned a total, perfect score of 100.
I come to our study this morning to make one more attempt at explaining as biblically as I might what this gospel message is. The Bible affirms that we are made by God for fellowship with God. And the Bible affirms that we have been alienated from God by our sin. When a man or a woman realizes that God in Jesus has provided reconciliation, as a Christian, they realize that they must be accepted by God for Christ's sake, or they cannot be accepted at all. The Bible uses the same terminology again and again. It says that we should repent and believe. Believe. Will you? When you become a Truth Partner, you help us support our mission to teach the Bible with clarity and relevance so that unbelievers will be converted, believers will be established, and local churches strengthened. And this has taken place throughout the nation and beyond. For example, all the way down in beautiful Belize in Central America. Here's Clive, the director at Lighthouse Christian Radio, to tell us about this.
We began broadcasting Truth for Life at 6 p.m. on Lighthouse Christian Radio, Monday through Friday. I personally would kind of set that 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. time aside just for me personally to listen to. My vision and heart's always been for the saints, especially the believers, to be equipped so they can detect truth from error and that they personally would be enriched and would develop and be strong. I would really encourage those who are viewing this to support Truth for Life, because when listeners who can support it, it really benefits us, because Truth for Life then, in a sense, pays us to air the program. So I'd really encourage those who are listening to this and you listen to Truth for Life to really get behind it, because it is doing tremendous work and ministering to lives and people that you will probably only meet in heaven.
So, now you get some time to think about where your donation will go. You may have noticed none of them have anything to do with ALS. This was intentional. People usually donate to causes close to them, ones that have impacted their own lives. It's perfectly fine. However, it is also fine to support causes with which you have no experience. There are a lot of needs in this world of ours. While I hope your Christmas gifts will be causes for excitement and received with gratitude, remember that we are tremendously blessed. Not everyone can say the same.